One day you may look into a robot's eyes and feel something you weren't supposed to feel. What happens when machines don't just work like us, but look like us, move like us, and quietly begin to replace something deeply human? Humanoid robots are no longer science fiction. They are already here, not in movies, not in distant labs hidden from the public, but in real rooms, real factories, real homes. Today, humanoid robots can walk, balance, carry objects, and recognize faces. Some can hold eye contact, some can mimic facial expressions. Some can respond with voices designed to sound calm, warm, even comforting. They are being trained to work alongside humans, in warehouses, in hospitals, in customer service roles, and slowly, carefully, they are being introduced into spaces that used to belong only to people. What makes humanoid robots different from other machines isn't their strength, or their speed, or even their intelligence. It's their shape. They are designed to resemble us. 2 arms, 2 legs, a face that feels familiar, movements that feel intentional, almost thoughtful. Engineers know something very specific about the human brain. We are wired to respond emotionally to things that look human, even when we know they aren't. That's why people apologize to robots. Why children talk to digital assistants like friends. Why some adults already feel uncomfortable turning off machines that beg them not to. Humanoid robots are built to take advantage of that instinct. Not maliciously, not on purpose, but by design. Because the closer a machine feels to human, the easier it is to trust, the easier it is to accept, the easier it is to let it stay. Right now, these robots are marketed as helpers, assistants, companions. They promise efficiency, safety, consistency. They don't get tired. They don't argue. They don't judge. And in a world that feels increasingly chaotic, that promise is powerful. But there's something quietly unsettling happening beneath the surface. As these machines become more human-like, we don't just change how we use them. They change how we relate to them. And more importantly, they change how we relate to each other. Because every time a robot fills a role that once required human presence, something subtle disappears. A pause, a hesitation, a moment of shared imperfection. Humanoid robots don't just perform tasks, they occupy emotional space, and that's where the real risk begins. Not with rebellion, not with violence, not with machines taking over the world, but with humans slowly becoming comfortable with something that only looks human, while forgetting what being human actually feels like. So if this is where humanoid robots are today, what happens when they become good enough that we stop noticing the difference at all? What's coming next won't arrive all at once. There won't be a single moment where the world suddenly feels different. The change will be quiet, incremental, almost polite. Humanoid robots will first appear where we already expect automation. Factories, logistics centers, dangerous environments. But then, slowly, their roles will expand. They will move into hospitals, not just as tools, but as assistants that walk beside nurses. They will appear in elder care facilities, sitting with patients, listening, responding. They will greet customers in stores, stand at hotel desks, guide people through airports. And eventually, they will enter homes. Not as machines behind screens, but as physical presences that share space with us. These robots will be designed to feel less mechanical with every generation. Softer movements, more natural gestures, faces that show something close to empathy. Not real empathy, but close enough. They won't just respond to commands. They'll anticipate needs. They'll learn routines. They'll remember preferences. They will stand nearby when humans are tired, when they are lonely, when they are overwhelmed. And over time, that presence will stop feeling unusual. It will feel normal. There's a reason humans keep pushing this technology forward. Humanoid robots offer something modern life rarely does: relief. They don't rush. They don't lose patience. They don't bring emotional baggage into a room. For aging populations, they promise care without exhaustion. For busy families, they promise help without judgment. For companies, they promise consistency without conflict. And on an emotional level, they feel safe. A humanoid robot won't abandon you. It won't argue back. It won't misunderstand you in ways humans often do. It listens. It responds. It stays. In a world where human relationships feel increasingly fragile, that reliability feels comforting. People begin to open up. They speak more freely. They relax. Not because the robot understands them, but because it never pushes back. And that's exactly what makes the relationship feel easy. Too easy. Here's the part we rarely talk about. Humanoid robots don't just adapt to humans. Humans adapt to them. We lower our expectations of interaction. We get used to conversations without friction, without disagreement, without emotional risk. Over time, real human relationships start to feel harder, messier, more demanding. Why struggle through misunderstanding when a machine responds perfectly? Why deal with emotional complexity when a robot offers calm consistency? The danger isn't that robots become too human, it's that humans become less willing to deal with humanity. There's also a deeper psychological shift happening. When something looks human, we instinctively assign intention to it, meaning awareness, even when none exists. That blurring creates emotional confusion, attachment without reciprocity, trust without accountability. And unlike humans, robots are owned, programmed, updated. Their values don't come from life experience, they come from whoever controls their code, which raises an uncomfortable question. If a humanoid robot becomes your caregiver, your assistant, your daily companion, whose priorities is it really serving? Yours or someone else's? Because the more human these machines appear, the less visible their true nature becomes. They don't argue. They don't resist. They don't reveal intention. They simply operate, quietly shaping behavior, quietly replacing presence, quietly redefining what connection feels like. So the real tension isn't about whether humanoid robots will harm us. It's about whether they will make us forget what authentic human connection requires in the first place. If we slowly choose relationships that never challenge us, what happens to the parts of us that grow through challenge at all? At first, nothing seems lost. Life becomes smoother, quieter, more efficient. Humanoid robots handle the tasks we're tired of. They fill the gaps we don't want to face. They stand in for conversations we no longer have the energy for. But over time, something subtle begins to erode. Skills we once practiced daily start to fade. Patience, negotiation, emotional resilience. We stop explaining ourselves. We stop listening deeply. We stop tolerating discomfort because machines don't require those things. Human presence used to mean effort, compromise, risk. Now, presence becomes optional, and when presence is optional, connection becomes shallow. There's also a quiet shift in identity. If robots care for the elderly, teach children, support the lonely, and handle emotional labor, what role does that leave for humans? Work once gave people purpose. Relationships once gave people meaning. When both are outsourced, What fills the space they leave behind? Not everyone will notice the change immediately, but younger generations will grow up differently. Children who bond with humanoid machines may learn connection without vulnerability, companionship without mutual need, and that shapes how they see other people. This isn't just a technological issue, it's an ethical one. When a humanoid robot influences behavior, who is responsible for the outcome? The engineer, the company, the owner, or the machine itself? Robots don't carry moral weight. They don't feel guilt. They don't face consequences. Yet they may soon occupy roles that require judgment, empathy, and care. And once we allow machines to stand in for human presence, we quietly redefine responsibility. We stop asking who should care and start asking who can do it more efficiently. That shift matters. Because efficiency has never been the same thing as humanity. Humanoid robots won't take over the world. They won't overthrow governments. They won't declare independence. Their impact will be far more subtle. They will change what we expect from relationships, from care, from each other. They will teach us that connection can exist without effort, until we forget how effort once made connection real. And by the time we notice what's missing, we may not remember how to rebuild it. If this question unsettles you, you're not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring where this future may lead, consider subscribing. If something looks human, sounds human, and stands beside us every day, at what point do we stop noticing what it's quietly replacing?